Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. You join us, it's Friday afternoon. We've just got to a campsite down in Suffolk. We're meeting a few other people here this weekend. Me and Nicola are the only people here from our party so far. So we've got the truck set up, rooftops back on, we've got the awning out, fire pit, bunch of firewood down there for later. Nicola's first night tonight up in the rooftop, but we've had to bring the diesel heater, although it's hot now, we've had to bring the diesel heater, keep her warm later on. So hopefully she'll be alright in there tonight, nice and cosy. We're set up, we're waiting for the others to turn up. While we're waiting, we're going to shoot down the village and have a beer in the pub. We'll bring you back later on. Thanks. Well folks, sun's gone down, we're back at camp. We're down the village, had a couple of beers. A few other lads have turned up. They're over there. Me and Nicola just sitting down. Got the barbecue going. Got a nice bit of steak on the go. Can't wait to get tucked in. Look at that. We had our dinner and then we sat around the fire, had a couple more drinks, and we had an early night ready for a good start on Saturday morning. I'm up bright and early on Saturday morning. I've got a bit of breakfast on the go. I've packed some of the stuff away, got the awning away and that, while Nicola's still snoozing in bed. Got a cracking night's sleep. It was toasty warm in the tent. I've just switched it on back on now for half an hour, just to warm it up and dry it out before we pack up for the day. We can have some breakfast and get stuck in. That's us all packed away. Just going to walk over and see if the other lads are ready and get going on some lane. Got a few in the convoy today. Got a Ford Ranger, Toyota Hilux, Range Rover P38 and Dave's Trooper. First lane of the day, just a muddy track. Dave's up front leading today. We've got the rest of the boys behind us. All pretty uneventful at the minute, just a muddy lane. I'll bring you back in a little while. Just coming through the woods, it's lovely. In a heavily overgrown lane now. A couple of lads behind us don't like scratches on their paint, they're in for a shock. And then Dave are pushing through at the front. Been like this halfway down the lane so far, so I'm guessing it's going to get stay the same or get worse. Not many vehicles been down here in a long time. Trying to be a bit careful because I've got my roof tent and my awning on. I don't want to rip my awning or anything. But trying to piece our way through. Most of it's soft. Most of it's green and bushy. There is a few brambles and a few twigs and stuff, but just trying to pick our way through.
doesn't get driven very often.
We've come across this tree that's down on the lane. Some lads have had a go at it, it looks like with an axe, and they've cleared part of it. But while we're there, I've got the petrol chainsaw, so we pull the saw out and we clear the lane properly so it's back to full width and full height. So that's the first bit done. There's another part now above my head, and it's a dead tree that's been pulled down, I believe, by the vines and the creepers and that growing up it. It's choked it and brought it down. So we cut it, clear the lane, get it back opened up. My little chainsaw here is struggling to tick over. I'll put that down to not being used and the two-stroke petrol and fuel separating in the carburettor and blocking up a jet. Once I've cut this tree down and run a bit of fuel through it, she comes back good and she's ticking over again, so she's sorted. Ready for next time. You can see here what I mean. You can see the trunk of the tree there. It's only a small tree, but the amount of stuff growing around it, I believe that's what's pulled it down in the wind or whatever, just the weight of that growing around it. I'm not 100% sure where everyone else is at this point. Dave's pushed on forward because he sneaked under the tree, but I'm not sure where the lads are behind. I don't know if they're still trimming and cutting trees behind them or cutting bushes back, but no one showed up while I was doing the manual work anyway. The trunk's gone, but
We are in the jungle.
I'm just hoping when I get to the end, my roof tent's still on my truck, otherwise I've got nowhere to sleep tonight. Well, with a bit of cutting, bit of chainsaw work, we made it out that overgrown jungle lane. We're back onto just a normal gravel track. Back dry, dusty, stony track. Sun's still shining. Dave's still at the front, and the boys are behind still. Just came across two Dutch lads in a 110 Land Rover, come over for 4 days of green laning in the UK. Had a chat with them, shared some stories, had a bit of a laugh and joke with them, and they're hopefully we'll catch them up again later, because I think they're doing a couple of the lanes we're doing, so our paths might cross again. Our paths might cross again, we shall see. But I'll bring you back in a bit. Well, we're back in the woods, another tight lane, weaving its way through the woods. Not really been anything exciting to film. We've got a couple more lanes to do. We're going to end up on the coast. We've got a sandy lane along the coast to do, and then we're going to end up on the coast at the chip shop. So that I'm looking forward to. Can't wait. Just all been nice steady driving today. Not been in low range at all, just high range, two-wheel drive. Just been more of a jolly out in the country, seeing some scenery and some sights. But the weather's been great, company's been good. So head out towards the coast now and wait for our fish and chip supper. Now this lane takes us right past these church ruins. Now this church is the Church of St James, and it's at Borsey in Norfolk. It's an 11th century church from the late Saxon period, and it's meant to have been used right up until the early 1500s, where it then was stopped being used, and apparently it's been in ruins since the 1700s. So good old time frame there, a lot of history about there. Lovely to see, especially on this sunny day. You can see through the building, and with a light and that on it, it's lovely. But if you're interested in that sort of stuff, it's very easily accessible, right next to the byway. Last lane of the day, we're at Heacham. We're on the sand, just behind the dunes. First time I've locked her in four-wheel drive today, but look at that for a view. What a place to finish. Beautiful day. Heading down there now towards Hunstanton, where we're having fish and chips for tea. Got the convoy there behind us. We'll get back in the truck and get moving, as there's some dog walkers waiting to get by. Let's go. That was it for day one. Didn't do any more filming. We had our fish and chip supper, and by the time we got back to camp it was about 9:30. Well folks, it's day two. We've packed up camp. We're just about ready to leave the campsite. A few of the lads are staying here for a little bit while this morning. We're going out for a bit of a jaunt round, and these lads are going to pack up and go home. So there's only going to be 3 of us, I think, today in the convoy. There's me, Dave and his trooper, and then Steve there and his ranger. So a few more lanes this morning. I think we're going to lane till about dinner time and then shoot home. Let's go. Just got to this lane. It's got the seasonal closure on it. Obviously we're good to go at the moment. In we go. Wide variety of lanes this weekend. We've been in woods, we've been out on open farm tracks, been across fields, all been relatively easy. Only put it in four-wheel drive once yesterday, and that was for the sandy lane right next to the beach. But the rest of the time been appropriate for soft roaders or for your normal four-wheel drives. Not been bad at all. Very scenic, very nice, nothing challenging, just a nice steady drive out. Back out from the woods, back onto a nice field track. Steve's had to shoot off, so it's just me and Dave left now and the troopers. Still got a couple more lanes to do, so we're going to crack on and try and get them all done before we turn around and head home. Sun's still shining. A couple of old Land Rovers here parked a lot without doing a few lanes as well. Fair play to them. They're doing the other two vehicles we've seen.
Having a cup of tea. Hello.
I just stopped and checked on the old boys in the Land Rovers. The bonnet was up, but they're all good. Just having a cup of tea and then having a poke about under the bonnet, having a look. Cracking weather for the time of year. We've had some weekends in the summer weren't this nice. Sandy lane now through the woods again. It's crazy out here. 1 minute you're on a stony track, the next minute they call it sandy. I'll take the sand all day long. It's nice and soft. A lot easier on your truck. Well, that brings this trip to an end. It's been some good lanes, nothing challenging, all you can do in a soft road or a freelander, but we've enjoyed it. It's been great. We've been out in the countryside, been out in the trucks. Thanks to Jess and Dave for taking us around all weekend. Join us next month when we get back onto some hardcore lanes. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe. New content coming all the time. Thanks for your support. Cheers.